Hi everyone, I'm Valenzia. Thank you for joining my channel today. Today I have the ROLAND GP3 digital grand piano, and I'd like to share some highlights and some insights about this particular instrument. The first thing you need to know is that I'm recording this with a microphone that is approximately 6 feet away from the instrument. I'm doing that purposely because I would like for you to get a sense of what it would sound like in your environment if you have a living space that is carpeted. So later on in the video, I will go ahead and plug a line in directly into my recording device so you will hear the specific tones that come out of the instrument. The reason why I think this video might be important for you is because I'm a music teacher and I'm also a performer and a writer. So I kind of have a little bit of different perspectives than just a salesman or something like that. As a matter of fact, I don't belong to any company and I don't earn any kind of offers from any company to promote any specific items. Let's get right into it, okay? The cabinet, first of all, is a very sleek look. It's very beautiful. It's very modern looking, and it kind of gives you the feel of a grand piano or baby grand piano. Technically, they call this a micro grand, and that's fine because it still has that beautiful, elegant look, and yet at the same time, it is much smaller and easier to fit in many spaces. As a matter of fact, it's only about 55 inches wide, and then it's only 47, with this open, it's only about 47 inches high. It's about 28 inches in depth. So the cabinet is really strong, it's really beautiful. This is a fixed music stand, and that just screws right in and it stays. It's very strong, it's very solid. Everything about this instrument is incredibly well built. The legs are absolutely just strong and powerful. I don't feel like with some instruments when if you slightly adjusted them, like if you pulled them or pushed them a little bit, kind of feel like the legs tugging. That's not happening with these. Now I do have little coasters on the bottom to help it slide easier, but with that said, it still slides very easily. It's about 125 pounds, so it's not all that much. You could actually get two people and lift this very easily if you needed to do so. It does have a cover over the keys, which I find really, really helpful. It also has very few buttons. If you haven't noticed, there are no buttons along the front to make it feel like this is a complete digital instrument. It is a digital instrument, but the only buttons are at the far end, and they only give you basically a settings or a gear button, an on and off button, and a volume up and down. So you have those 4 buttons. Now you're sitting there saying, well, wait a minute, this can't have very many features if in fact it only has 4 buttons. But that's not necessarily the case because they actually use the keys here for certain buttons to do certain features, to explore other features. Another thing is they also implemented Bluetooth with this. So you've got audio Bluetooth and you've got MIDI Bluetooth. As far as the audio input, that's really, really cool because if you have any kind of a tablet, whether it's an iPhone, iPad, or any kind of Android device, it will sync up with your Bluetooth input and audio, and you can play tracks and play along with those tracks, or maybe backing tracks, or what have you. You've got lots of options, and it'll come through the speakers. And now that we're on to speakers, there are 2 speakers in this. They're both 11 watts each. They face down. And the reason that they do this, now a lot of people might be freaking out, especially if you're not used to this market. A lot of people will think, well, why would they face the speakers down? That means I can't hear it as well. That's not necessarily the case. The reason why they face it down, in my opinion, is the fact that it kind of fills the room. It makes it sound a little bit more like a real instrument would, because in a real instrument, the real soundboard, the sound is kind of escaping from everywhere. And as a matter of fact, they built a little sound escape at the very top of the, let's call it the soundboard, even though it's technically not a soundboard, but they put a little escape. And basically all that is a little hole that allows the speakers to resonate through that hole. And so you get a little bit of like the lower frequencies and the lower mid frequencies. You might hear a little bit of the highs, but not really all that much. You hear them very, very cleanly here. Even on carpeted surface, it really does fill the room. So you get an idea of the room ambiance that this will send with having the downward facing speakers. I think those speakers sound really, really outstanding. They're one of the best speakers I've listened to. Roland does a great job with their speakers and their amplifying systems in all of their digital brands. Even their keyboards that I actually own one of their keyboards as well. And I love those speakers in there. So anyway, moving on. It comes with your 3 standard pedals. You've got your soft and your sostenuto. Did I say that right? Anyway, and your damper pedal, which allows you to have a lot of that ringing tone after. So in the middle of the piano, we can have that. Can you hear it? It's still going. It's still going. Anyway, look, sorry about that. I kind of went on a tangent. But anyway, the idea is that it operates exactly like a real piano. Okay, that's the idea of what they're trying to do. They're really trying to close the gap between a digital piano and a real piano. And they're just getting really super, super close with it, with all the technology that they have now. So let's talk about the feel of the keys. Now, the feel of the keys is really super important, especially with the digital grand piano. You can, and really the sky's the limit. I mean, it really is all over the place, depending on the brand and the make and the model and so forth. It's all over the place. But let me give you just a brief thing about Roland's digital grand action. So there's 3 actions that they really have supported over the last many years. And that is the PHA-4, the PHA-50, and the PHA-100. Now, in the newer pianos, the GP3 included, they don't call it that. They gave it another fancy name, which I don't even remember what it was, but it was something, I don't even know. Doesn't matter. It's the same physical action. What they've done is they've changed the sensor and the algorithms and the digital aspect of it that makes it respond a little bit better. And I feel that that's really super cool. But again, you want to make sure that this feels good to you. So what I would do is, the first thing I would do when you go into a showroom to play on the instrument is I would turn it off and just play like on the keys themselves. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel like you're playing a real piano or close to a real piano? Or is it completely foreign and it's, you know, kind of like, oh, that's weird. I can't get used to that. That right then and there might sell you or tell you not to buy something. So keep that tip in mind. But the PHA-4, which is what the GP3 offers in here, again, is one of their, is something that's been around for a long while. They use it in stage piano keyboards of Roland. And it's a very authentic feel and it has beautiful escapement. All right, other things that are important to know is that there are 15 tones in the instrument. There's many different piano sounds and harpsichord sounds and digital piano sounds. You can also split the keyboard into 2, so you can have, like, let's say the teacher on one side and the student on the other. So this is a fantastic learning instrument. This has a lot of learning capabilities, especially if you Bluetooth your tablet to the piano. So you can split the piano so it feels like there's 2 pianos because it'll give you middle C on both sections of the piano. You can also layer the sounds. I will also tell you at this point, it has all of the basic features that you'll find in almost every digital grand piano, especially in this price range. So if you are looking for a digital grand piano, there are things that are going to be very typical. They're going to have a recording aspect of it, a playback aspect of it. It's going to have where you can transpose the keys. It's got 2 headphones. It's got the 1/8 inch small jack and it has the 1/4 inch, a little bit larger jack, so you can just plug in. It's underneath here. It also comes with a USB flash drive input, which is basically if you put WAV files of songs and of backing tracks maybe without piano or something like that, you can play them in the system here directly and you can play along with them if you wish. So that's the basic understanding behind that. It also has a USB-B port which goes out of the instrument into your favorite DAW. If you're using like Logic or Pro Tools or anything like that, it'll plug in and work well with those devices. You don't need to have a tablet or a phone plugged into this. But I will tell you that it is much easier to have the iPad or a tablet, an Android device hooked up to it. So first of all, it connects very, very easily, but it also works with what's called the Roland Piano app, aptly named. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, so it works with the piano app, and it's a really, really great app. It has a lot of features in it. It has all of the features that you would find in the book right here. You can do that all in the app, and you can see exactly what you're doing. You're not guessing, oh, how many did I hit? You know, you're not doing any of that guesswork. Also, the app gives you like sheet music, and you can play along, and you can turn on like accompaniment to play along with you, or you can turn it off and just have the right hand play so you play the left hand part, or vice versa. Lots of freedom. It's a great learning tool. It's very powerful, and it's very, very easy to learn. So if you're thinking entry level, I strongly recommend this is the one to go with. It comes with everything that all the other grand pianos are going to have, but the feel is just superior over a lot of them. But again, that's a personal choice. You need to go play them and find out for sure if they work for you. So for teaching, it's a fantastic instrument. For learning, for people that are just starting out, it doesn't matter how old you are. This is a beautiful instrument. You've got a lot of different options. It comes with a metronome feature, a recording feature. You can even record yourself playing along with the accompaniment. There's so many great features as far as learning from it. So from a teacher aspect, I think it's absolutely amazing. As a matter of fact, the school in which I teach at, we have this exact instrument. I thought it was the best option out there. So I went with a little bit of style, and I also went with functionality. The sound quality, the volume is very good. It fills up a medium to large size room fairly well. I would not expect these speakers to fill up, let's say, a banquet hall. Now, would it be good background music? So you can just go into the app and play a bunch of songs that are already pre-recorded at a dinner party or something like that. Could you do that in that environment? Yes, you could. And it'll sound like a piano player playing in the corner or the back or wherever of the one side of the room or wherever you put the piano. So it will give you that aspect, and it really is a nice little feature. The sound quality of the piano is just amazing. I think Roland has nailed it. They are on top of it. They put a lot of time and money into it, obviously, and they've made the best of it. They've really done a great job with the sound. I am very pleased with the sound. It's a very clear sound. So as far as a recording musician, it doesn't have all the features that I personally would love. It does. I am able to hook it up to a DAW, as I mentioned earlier, but there are some other features that I really, really like. Like I want to be able to take a line out of my computer and put a line in. It doesn't have that feature. It does in the 6 and the 9, the GP6 and the GP9, but not in the GP3. And occasionally I want to change like how the piano functions, and you have some basic changes that you can make, but in the GP6 and the GP9, you have a little bit more. So as far as recording, I think for me as a recording artist and a performer, I think the higher model is right for me personally, but I really do love this instrument for a lot of reasons. And it's still a ton of fun to play. It really, really is. And it just sounds awesome. So if you liked my information, if you liked all that I've done for you, please subscribe and share. Send this out to anybody and everybody. I would really like to build up this channel. And if you have suggestions, talking too much, playing too much, or anywhere in between, maybe video quality could be improved, maybe lighting, blah, blah, blah. Any kind of thoughts and suggestions. So please let me know so I can make those changes. So right now, without further ado, I'm going to plug this piano into the video recorder so you can hear it firsthand. Thanks.